Could you talk sort of briefly on the yugas in terms of, because is the human species has a different age, or is that completely irrelevant?
It's irrelevant, really, although it's mentioned in our text.
Yes.
Yeah, the yugas are just expansions of the daily cycles of life. That's all. It's just expanding what we experience every day, from waking and dream to deep sleep, expanding it to apply to the macrocosm. Because our little cycles of life, our little cycles of existence, they're non-separate from the big cycles of existence. They're just the same cycle, looked at through the lens of an individual.
So it's a time related.
Yeah. No, but that's really, we do mention it. The reason is because it's important. It's actually an important issue in a way, because the creation is eternal, but it's not the self. Let's put it this way: the creation is eternal, and it's the self, but the self is not it. This is the Satya and Mithya, the two orders of the one reality. And so that, because, in other words, we say that God, the Creator, is eternal, but is not real. Why? Why is God, the Creator, not real? Because He has two phases. He changes. He appears, it manifests, the Creator manifests as the creation for billions of years. Now, if it's manifest, it's born, and if it's born, what's going to happen to the creation? It's going to die. Anything that's born is going to die. So, now, death of the creation doesn't mean the creation ceases to exist. It ceases to exist in a form. And what happens to it? It goes back into its seed form. In other words, it becomes a potential power in awareness. And just like I used the example, I think it was yesterday or the day before, of a seed, an oak seed, an oak tree. The whole tree, the knowledge of the whole tree is what? Encapsulated in that seed, isn't it? You can't, if you have an acorn, you cannot see the tree. The acorn is just matter. And if you grind up the matter, you'll still not find the tree. Yet, if you put that seed in the right place at the right time, what will happen? It will manifest a complete tree in time.
Same with human life.
Yeah, same with human life. Human being is just a program, just like a tree is a program. A tree is knowledge, and a human being is just knowledge. All humans are the same. That means what? We're templates, we're programs. We're the only difference between us and a dog and a cat and a monkey and all that stuff is that we have an intellect. And when the Vedic taxonomists, they're really great in categorizing all of the beings in existence. It's amazing to see how they categorized all these beings from celestial beings to demonic beings to little tiny microbes up to big animals and so forth and so on. When they came to human beings, and they gave names to all these living beings, when they came to human beings, they thought, what are we going to call these people, these things? What kind of name should we give them? And they gave him a name, the name is Manusha. And the word means the ones that think. Means the only thing that distinguishes us from any other life form is that we think. We're self-reflective. That's it. We're just a program. We're just knowledge. And that knowledge what? Manifests in the form of a body and a mind and karma. And then what happens? It goes unmanifest. Can't see it, just like the seed of an oak. You can't see it. It's completely hidden. And then after a certain period of time, owing to the macrocosmic karma, the seed sprouts again and unfolds. So time is not linear. Time is just an unfolding in awareness and what? A contracting or in awareness and a return to what? Seed form. And that whole, and life is awareness shining on a subtle body. Now, you don't say that the chairs or the rocks are living, do you? You don't say that. Why don't say they're alive? Well, why not if they're consciousness? Why aren't they alive? They are consciousness. But why are they not alive? Because they don't have a subtle body. They're made out of tamoguna, the material element alone. They're like black holes. All material objects are mini black holes. They're so dense that they absorb light, they don't reflect light. So no light can escape from them. Now human beings are not dense like that. Human beings are more subtle. And not just human beings. Plants have subtle bodies. A plant has a subtle body. A microbe has a subtle body. Those are living beings. We can tell they're living because they move. Because they're animate. And they're only animate because what? Because awareness is reflecting on their subtle bodies. And when awareness shines on a subtle body, that subtle body comes alive and functions. And when awareness is withdrawn from the subtle body, the what? The animal or plant or whatever it is dies. Once the subtle body is in a state of constant agitation, movement, because it's in the Maya field. And after it's vibrated for long enough, the physical body wears out. That's what death is. It's just the physical body wears out. And so what happens then? Then the consciousness there's a power in the physiological systems, in the prana system, which as we said was here between the subtle body and the gross body. There's a power called udana, and that udana ejects the subtle body from the physical body. You'll actually get experience of mystics and stuff, they'll tell you they saw when a person's soul, they'll call it a soul always, when their soul or their subtle body left their physical body, they could see it going, because they had a subtle kind of vision. You can't see it physically, but you can see it psychically. Some people can, who are particularly sensitive. And as soon as that power in the prana system ejects the subtle body, the physical body collapses and dies. We say that person's no longer alive. The vital signs stop and everything. And then that subtle body, right, remains in a subtle dimension until what? Until Ishvara can get the conditions right for a new subtle body, for a new physical body that's made from that's created out of a combination of the mother's and father's vasanas, their karma, that and that will serve the needs of that subtle body. So it takes
So
me,
they act out.
yeah, so it can act out again. And then, once that egg has been firmly implanted in the uterine wall, and there's a possibility, and there's a secure place for the subtle body to enter, then the subtle body, propelled by its karma, by its vasanas, enters into that physical blob of matter that's growing in the woman's uterus, and life is established there again.
And
Yeah.
so it's terminated, you mean that the subtle body has vibrated in as long as it needed to.
Pardon?
If the pregnancy is terminated naturally, let's say through
Yeah.
natural abortion, or a child only lives for a few days or whatever, would that possibly mean that the subtle body has worked
Well,
out what it's...
No, not usually. Usually it means that the physical body isn't securely situated in the uterine wall. It's it's precarious. And maybe the person has bad habits, or maybe has some sort of, who knows? You never really know. But there's often abortions where the Ishwar is trying to create a new hutment, a new physical body, so that the subtle body can come work out its karma.
So what happens to the causal body on death? If the subtle body is ejected, what happens to the causal body?
Oh, the causal body isn't affected by life and death. The causal body is what drives the karma of the individuals and sustains all the elements in the creation.
But I mean, if the causal body is inhabiting that particular physical body, as does the subtle body.
No, it actually, this is a very tricky thing, because the causal body is not inhabiting the,
Or vice versa.
no, it's vice versa. The subtle body and the physical body are in the causal body. Awareness pervades everything, and then the causal body is the next most pervasive object in awareness. It doesn't pervade all of awareness, it just pervades a part of awareness. Then what? Then the subtle body evolves, but it's what? Less pervasive than the causal body, and the physical body is less pervasive than the subtle body.
Because it's from fine to gross.
Yeah, that's right, because it goes from the subtle or the fine to the gross.
So we don't each
So the
have-
causal body is not going anywhere.
Is that like a kind of so we don't have individual causal bodies as such? Anyway.
No, there's only one causal body, but you do have individual there's our causal body is Ishwara's causal body, but what? Within the Ishwara's causal body, there are billions of subtle bodies.
So macro and micro.
Yeah, Rajas fractures, shatters and fractures the matter, prakriti, this mirror of matter, into billions of little shards. And those shards become the jivas.
Is this all energetic?
Yeah, it's all it's all energetic. It's all vibrations. It's energy field.
And does sound permeate the whole thing?
The sound, that's right. The first element to evolve is sound. Space. Sound is the property of space. So to get the creation, this is the problem. How do I get from awareness, which is immaterial, to material? There's got to be intermediate stages. How do you get a fine, subtle thing? The subtlest of the subtle is awareness, and this is the grossest of the gross. So there's got to be intermediate stages. So the first stage is a causal body. That's Ishvara. and that projects 5 elements. The first element that's projected is space. That's the most subtle element. Space pervades all the other elements. And it has one quality. And then, as I said yesterday or the day before, then the next one that evolves out of space, space divides up. The next one evolves is air. And it has 2 properties. And it's less pervasive than space, but more pervasive than what? Than fire, which is the next. Then when it divides, it creates fire. The fire has three qualities. And what? It's less pervasive than its cause, which is what? Air. And so on. And then water comes out of fire, and then earth comes out of water. So then you have a whole progression from the subtle to the gross. Now you have a material world. Okay? Now you have the Big Bang. That's called the Big Bang. Right? That's boom. You know, that fits with our theory of Maya. We say creation is a projection. It just explodes out. The blueprint for it is already there. Huh?
Like a recipe.
The recipe or the blueprint for the creation is already sitting there in consciousness, but it's unmanifest. And when the time is right, then it, boom, it explodes. There's a big bang, and the whole, all the elements appear. And then what? Then once the elements are here, after some time, the gas and all that, some of these elements, life comes. Well, how do you get life? Well, you've got material substance, you got a source, and you've got awareness shining on it. And as the subtle body evolves out of the gross, or apparently out of the gross, then what do you get? Then you get living beings come up.
When
Yes, sir.
Ishvara shattered,
Yeah,
I suppose like a vessel,
Yeah.
these shards
all
that
these
you're
shards.
speaking about,
Yeah,
each one of those shards constitutes an individual,
in entity. Yeah, each
an
jiva.
entity, which may or may not be human.
That's right. Human beings are just one of many jivas. Jivas are innumerable. We have no idea how many jivas there are in the creation. I mean, in 1 square inch of earth, there are like 4 million nematodes. Your body is more bacteria in your body than anything else. Yeah. All those bacteria are living beings. They're living. They're programmed. They're doing things. They're respiring. They're causing things to happen. They're all living beings, entities. And that, you see, because when your creation first started, it starts from awareness, and then the first thing to appear is called prakriti or matter. That's called primordial matter. That's the finest, subtlest level of consciousness. Consciousness is immaterial. It has no name and it has no form. But then when creation comes, the first thing is prakriti or matter. But matter's not gross at that stage. Matter's just awareness in the most subtle, fine form. That's created out of sattva. Sattva guna, the guna of sattva, creates this reflective mirror, or it's called Maya, or we call it Ishvara also. There's several terms for it. And then Rajas comes in, and it shatters the mirror into billions of pieces. And those billions of pieces are all the conscious or living beings that are there. And then they start to work out their karma, because the material world has already been projected.
Why should there be karma in the first place?
What?
Why should there be karma in the first place?
Interesting.
Well, there is no... Huh? There is no why. No, there is no why. There is no why. Because creation isn't actually in time. There's actually no time. We have to present this in terms of time because we believe that time and space are real, and all of our language is set up. The time and space metaphors are just built into our speech. Because we all appeared here once the Big Bang happened. We showed up late to the party, right? There's tons of stuff going on before we showed up. So how are we going to know what the cause is? Huh? And in fact, there is no cause. Now we could,
Yeah, we're trying to adapt.
well,
that box.
you know, human beings want to know what they're doing here, and so, well, we say, okay, all right. We say that we're here to attain freedom. Now, on the basis of what do we make that statement? On the basis of what? Simple observation of what human beings do. Human beings are totally uncomfortable with any sense of limitation, aren't they? In fact, everything that you do as a human being is an attempt to remove a perceived, a real or imagined sense of limitation. Isn't it? Everything, think about it. Which means what? Because limitation is not natural to you. What is natural to you? Freedom. You want to get rid of limitation because when you get rid of a particular limitation, whatever it is, then what? You feel free, you feel happy. Which goes to show that what you really want is freedom. So we say, okay, then the purpose of the creation is freedom because that's what everybody does. But when you look at it from Ishwar's point of view, there's no purpose. Maya is a great wonder. We just had that verse. It's totally incomprehensible why Maya should create this whole thing. Awareness should enter into it and pretend that it's a suffering jiva and then try to get free when it's already free. Where's the sense in that?
Exactly.
There's no sense in it. And there's never going to be any sense in it. And you've got to stop looking for the reason and just deal with it. We say, who cares? The situation is you feel limited, you feel inadequate, you feel incomplete, and you're not limited, and you're not adequate, and you are adequate, and you're not incomplete. You're not small, you're not separate. All these things that you feel are simply not true.